Hey Sarah,
Hi, Jeremy.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Trying to get through this weather.
Yes, very cold. Cold. Okay. And I brought you a copy of my resume and cover letter for you today.
Thank you. So I hope you're excited for this position at Yelp.
I am. I've been looking forward to this interview for weeks now.
I'm excited to hear
Yes.
that. Start off briefly. We're going to go through a series of open-ended and closed questions to get a feel of your experience and your background and your education, and to really feel out if you're a good fit for this company.
Okay.
The interview shouldn't be too long, so no worries. What about this company and this position struck your interest?
Yelp is a company that has great pride in small businesses. They started out in the U.S. and now they have expanded to all over the world. And I think that working with such a well-renowned brand and application that people use when they travel, whether they live in the city, to help them get to know different places and to put other businesses on like the map is just outstanding, I think. So it would be a great opportunity.
It's good to hear. Expansion and is a big part of this company. How do you see this company benefiting you in your long-term goals?
I've been in sales for ever since I was 16. It is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and it's something that I would love to continue doing after I graduate as my professional career.
Well, you got a long history of sales.
Yes, I do.
What job did you previously hold that best prepared you for this position?
Like I said before, I've been in sales since I was 16. I started out at Best Buy just as a cashier, and then I eventually moved to working for a high-end boutique called BCBG, and basically there I would build clientele that would come in to shop while I was working. We had our sales goals that we had to meet individually and as a team to make sure that we were staying on top of our district with the other stores.
Sounds nice. So what were your specific roles and duties of that job?
I was a sales associate. I basically would work the sales floor. Sometimes I would work with another person, and then I would also work alone. And it was basically just building relationships with clients, getting to know them on a personal level so that I could meet all their needs in what their style was and what they liked to wear because we sold clothes.
Right. What would you say you took away from that job the most?
Definitely the importance of building relationships when you're trying to sell a product, whether any product. It's selling Yelp to a business or selling clothing to a mother and a daughter.
What experience do you have working in a fast-paced environment, almost hectic environment?
I'd say that during the holidays, like any other retailer, we get busy, and so just being able to multitask is important when it comes to holidays, and making sure that no one is ignored. It's difficult when there's a lot of people in there, but you're always moving around and you don't really have time to breathe. So I definitely have experience with fast-paced environment.
Do you have any ways you have to handle the stress of that?
It's just taking a deep breath and knowing your priorities and not freaking out. And if you need help, there's always other coworkers that you can ask for help. And I've learned to never be afraid to ask for help when it comes to stressful situations.
That's good. Here at Yelp, we have a very cooperative community, and asking for help is important.
Yes, that's what I liked about the position. Very team oriented.
Indeed. How do you keep yourself motivated?
Well, doing what I like keeps me motivated. Um, and knowing my support system I have behind me, my family and my close friends, they're all there to help me out, and that's what really keeps me motivated is my family and friends and the outcome of a project.
Do you fancy yourself more of an independent worker or a team contributor?
I can work independently when I need to, but I prefer working in teams. I've played team sports basically all my life, and then working with different sales jobs, they've all been team environments. So.
At Yelp, you individually do create your own success, but we do push that team atmosphere. So. Do you see this company as a potential career path for you?
I do. I'm about to graduate in May, and this would actually be the first step in a career with Yelp, I think. And you guys you go from being an account executive to account manager. And from the research I've done, you set very clear goals for your employers so that they know how to rise in their company, which I think is awesome and something that really interests me.
Tell me about a conflict you experienced at work and how you dealt with it.
Well, I've had a lot of customers who come in and say that their product was not what they wanted or it didn't turn out the way they did. I had one lady who came in with a shattered bracelet one day. Said she paid a lot of money for it, and this was not how she expected it to. She didn't expect it to last just a week. So basically, I had to talk to the lady, ask her what happened. She was very heated, so knowing how that I had to stay calm in that situation. And then I basically walked around the store and I said, this is our store policy was I can't give you your money back, but I can exchange it for something else. So I helped her for about an hour trying to figure out something that could substitute for the bracelet. So, but in the end, she was actually pretty happy, way more happier than she was when she came in. So,
That's the goal right there.
yes.
Tell me about a time you had to give criticism to a fellow coworker, positive or negative.
Well, at my job at Francesca's, I was a manager, and so I was basically coaching the sales associates all the time. And when you're coaching someone, you basically do give them criticism, whether it's positive or negative. So just giving them advice on what selling techniques would work better than what they were using, I found was a positive form of criticism. Yeah, so all on the spot coaching kind of thing.
All right.
That makes sense. Okay.
Tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a supervisor and how you went about dealing with that issue.
Well, I actually got into a disagreement with a co-manager of mine very recently. She went, she wasn't obeying store policy when she was helping a customer. She basically returned items that the company was not even allowed to take back. And I told her, like, this isn't store policy, like, you can't do this. And she kind of went back at me and said that she will do whatever she wants and she doesn't really care. But then she told me that I have to be the one to do the transactions, and I kind of just took a step back and said, I'm not going to lose my job over the rules when we had the rules in a book, and I brought the book out and showed her clearly. So it was kind of a what's right and what's wrong situation.
Right, never easy.
Yes, never easy.
Tell me about a time you were given criticism you did not agree with.
Well, recently in school, my mother was ill, and she was back in the hospital for having a heart attack, and I had to give a presentation in class, and I was at the hospital with my mom, and I missed my presentation, and the professor would not let me redo it. He kind of, in a way, criticized me for not being in class, even though I had prior family commitments, and I was extremely disappointed, and I did not agree with that at all. But in the end, he was the professor. I can't really go by it was his rules, and I felt like I couldn't go about them.
It's unfortunate.
It is. I feel like his mind he didn't want to change his mind.
Tell me about a mistake you made. Now you're able to come back from that.
Well, I recently have started a new job at Athleta. So I'm not all familiar with the products yet. I'm still learning. And I've recently had a few customers come in and they'll just pound me with questions about a product that I'm still trying to learn. I've only been there for 4 days. So I actually had a customer bought something, came back and returned it because it was not what she wanted and it was what I sold her because of what I said. So I basically had to grab another manager and I apologized to the customer and said that I'm very sorry, I'm still learning. And then my manager, I said, can you walk this customer through what she really needs because I didn't give it to her the first time that she was here. And then I said, but I want to watch and actively learn from my mistakes. So that was how I recovered.
Tell me about a time you had to work as a part of a team. What was your specific role in that team, and what was most challenging?
Okay. Well, my manager job at Francesca's, I was part of the management team, but I was also part of the entire sales team. So basically, I had to supervise people under me, and a big challenge was it was my first management position, so I felt like I was always learning, but while I was learning, I had to teach them, and they were always teaching me. We all had to work as a team, but it was challenging for me to be my first position where I'm actually like in charge of someone else, but our roles like interchanged, and we just always had to be helping each other. Like sales associate helped the managers helped the sales associates. Even though I was above them, it was just I can't.
Like the cogs of a clock.
Yes, yeah. So yes.
I understand.
Okay.
Just a few more quick questions. How flexible is your schedule?
Well, after I graduate, I won't be doing anything, so I will be completely open for full-time availability.
If hired, how soon would you be able to start?
Well, when I got the email, they told me that I was gonna start in either May or June if I was offered the position, so I would be able to start right then.
Finally, any questions you have for me?
I do. So could you kind of, I know that they have, Yelp has the stairway to, moving up in the company. Could you kind of go into detail on the account executive, how I go from the account executive to the account manager?
Well, every employee has an equal opportunity to grow. And in my experience, it is the little things that other employees don't take advantage of that really move you up the ladder faster. The things that aren't quite exactly in your job description, but still aren't far past the parameters. Coming early or coming earlier, but on time is late, early is on time. Things like this. Like just the small things will set you apart from the pack, and then we will notice, and we will help you along that path.
Okay. And then I was also wondering, like, if when you advanced, if you advance in the company, do you get offered advancement within New York, or do you get offered advancement in the other offices? So say you can advance, but there's not a position at your office. Can you take your advancement to another office?
Yes, we are a homogenous company.
Okay.
We do move between sections in different counties and different states. But it kind of is up to the discretion of, one, the employee, and then two, the need for the positions at the time. So, you might actually get a quicker promotion if a branch does open up and you're a standout in New York City, but we don't have opportunities available. We might be a little bit faster to move you somewhere else where they might need your skills better.
Okay. And then my last question is, what is the work schedule like? Do we work during business hours, normal business hours because we're selling to other businesses, or do we have a weekend availability as well, or do we have to? I'm open availability, but
It is standard 40-hour weeks from 9 to 5, but there are opportunities to work on the weekends, and sometimes we might actually need you to work on the weekends if we are falling behind. But we try to keep the majority of our work done within the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday work week.
Okay. And then that's all my questions.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'll email you or call you to keep you in touch.
Okay, thank you.